Gut. Are we on? Are any of us really here when it comes down to it? My face is I have a redness on my eyebrow. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to turn away. I'm gonna have to. I'm turning a shen. But good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, February 20th. If you were at a blank calendar with a pen and needed a lot of help, I'm happy I could provide it. Welcome to the program. Things are happening. Things are swimming along. Drive truck along. No, I don't drive trucks. Things are scooting. I don't drive a scooter either. Things are walking along for me. It's gonna look at the underwear, which honestly, I thought I had more than these before, and then I realized maybe I wore them last week. Does anyone remember the diesel? They're black, but they're jet black. There's a black to it. It's aggressively black. It's not just an absence of color. They want to know that they did it on purpose. They hate every other color here, nevertheless, and they're diesel. And I don't remember buying these. I don't think I ever bought diesel underwear, but yet I own them. Somehow I feel like an asshole though. Do only assholes wear diesel underwear? Like on the spectrum of like normalcy, like Hanes to Ed Hardy, I feel like they're one step off Ed Hardy, although they're designed simply and I like them. So don't think me an asshole simply for wearing diesel underwear. Think me an asshole for perhaps other reasons. Sean said, hey, Culty's Nail said, has he set the wrong time? Yes, I set this stream to start at 8:30, and then Nails messaged me and corrected me and says, doesn't this start at 9:30? I said, yes, thank you. Mia said, good morning, beautiful people. Ty said, good morning, RJ. How are you feeling today? Wistful. So put on some Annie Lennox, and I'm just feeling wistful and slow in a nostalgic way. I'm nostalgic for a time that never existed. It's kind of a paradox, something to certainly think about. Mia said, I wanted to see you in glasses. Well, I happen to have them here. Gee, Mia, you're in for a treat. But my issue is when I put on glasses on the stream, it's so reflection heavy, you can't see my great eye acting. And that's primarily where all the great actors act from. So those were the glasses, and that's why I don't really wear them. Leo said hello. Sarah said, hey, Robin Gross is here. I said good morning, and a good morning to you. Mia said you wore those before. Yeah, thanks. Pogirl said, I love black. It's so goth. Isn't the color black so goth? But are there like subsections of the goth community who's like, I just wear mint green? These got to be people like that with different names. Maybe they're not goth at all. Maybe they oppose the goth people. Jeff has said, good morning, fellow not cult members. Mina Coletta said, good morning, everyone. Mina Coletta delightfully designed the new high anxiety coffee bag, which is available now at rootlesscoffee.com. Everyone is very excited about it. It's just hand drawn. I don't know what else you would draw with, but she hand drew it on like an iPad or something. So maybe it's not hand drawn. Look, I don't know how illustrations work. Don't bother me. She did it. We're now selling it. All right, good. Joden said black is the only hue I wear. It's not really a hue, although there are some shades of black. You ever see like an old wrestling shirt and it's so beaten up and worn that it's black, but it's not even black anymore? It's a black that has to have been used and not washed for like 20 years. Neil said, did you not get a pack of diesel underwear as a gift? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm going to have to this year I'm going to keep track of the underwear I get. So I'm going to write them off. Okay, Gamer said, well, hi to you. And she is celebrating being a member for 22 months. That's almost a full 2 years. What an exciting journey it has been. And of course, her anniversary block there came in mint green, which is like the new goth I'm hearing. SM said he covers his nipples. Yeah, let's talk about my nipples. This is good. He covers his nipples when he shows us the underwear. Well, I don't want to be demonetized. Sometimes if you just see like a subsection of nipple, you may not realize it's a male one, because only the female ones are perhaps bad. These are totally fine and not weird at all. Jonathan said diesel underwear is best for most dark roasts. Not good for a latte. Something to think about. Positively E said that's because diesels are like $30 a pair. That's why only assholes wear them. Rich assholes. Maybe they're not assholes because they're assholes. They're assholes because they're rich. Andrea Peck said good morning. Jonathan said Robin is Spenny's cousin. Yes. And Jonathan is Spenny's producer, although I don't really think he's that big to have a producer. I think he can figure out this shit on his own. But Jonathan does a wonderful job. And if you haven't seen my interview with Spencer Rice, is it demeaning to call him Spenny? Is it like calling Carol Spinney Big Bird all the time? Is it that kind of thing? Please let me know. And also his YouTube page has fun things with Robin talking about a slew of things, and Jonathan inserting pictures where appropriate. Leo said, I can't take adult goth seriously, but the teens you can take very seriously. You can say, hey, these are people I want to hear from. Andrea said, I think Lolita goths wear pastels. Nice to know. Thank you. Nell said, I'm a rootless coffee star. Sure. Doden said, RJ, pastel goth is a thing. And those under that category don't wear much black. Obviously, they must go nuts at Easter. That must be really, if goth, satanic, whatever, it's like Halloween, they're like, the pastel goths must be like Easter. It's going to be great. We're going to watch the 10 Commandments. We're going to have a good time. Sarah said, only villains wear diesel underwear. I guess so. Mina Coletta said, I'd say it's still hand-drawn. I certainly use my hands to draw it. It's mouth-drawn. She puts the pen in her mouth, and it's great. Leo said, do you prefer Harry Potter or Harold Pinter? I don't know who Harold Pinter is, and I hope he's not a horrible person, but I'm also not that crazy about Harry Potter. Come along on this journey. I don't need to identify with him being a regular kid. Like, I didn't need that whole part. His parents didn't like him. He was orphaned. Okay. I don't need this. Why? Isn't that the worst? Like, one of my least favorite ever was Jurassic World, where all these dinosaurs are roaming and the two kids are like grieving their parents about to get divorced. And I'm like, guys, even my parents are divorced, but if I saw a fucking dinosaur in front of my face, I would appreciate it. I think your relationship woes can be put on hold, mom and dad, while the Brontosaurus is here. Jesus. Jonathan said, best Marx Brothers film, in your opinion? Maybe a Duck Soup. A Night at the Opera is one that is so that everyone loves. And I understand why it's big and famous and how it reached a lot of people. Don't think it's their best. My personal favorite is when Dick Cavett would have Groucho Marx on his show, and he would have that weird hat with pastels on them. Aaron wrote a son with a coffee and a heart. That's very sweet. Queen of the Ring said, hello, friends. And if you want to see and hear more Queen, you can hear. She's now on, she does Queen, what do you call it? A podcast is not really a podcast. It's a live audio experience on Green Room called Unsanctioned. You can listen to that. And I'm sure she will be doing her Church of Joshi wrestling business at some point today. But put your mentionables. Will said, my wife is out of town. Should I be concerned that she'll see I was watching you in your underwear at 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning? Well, I guess it depends where your wife is. If she's doing something, she's visiting her parents and you didn't want to go and you're like, I'd rather do this, then she would be upset. But if she was someone who was perhaps she's out of town because she's going to an Engelbert Humperdinck concert, I would say she may enjoy this. And she comes home and she's like, the hell are you doing? And you're like, honey, if you like Engelbert, get a load of this. Mina Coletta said, I can't reply directly on my phone, but thank everyone for the compliments. That's nice. Jonathan says he prefers Spenny. All right, fuck it. I'm calling him Spenny. Fine, sorry. Check out my interview with Spenny on his YouTube. Christine said, I'm late, but I'm here. And the first word I heard when I logged on was asshole. And the best part is it can apply to many different people. Stanley Tucci, Mark Ruffalo, a world of options. Sean said, I met Carol Spinney when I was very young. Please tell me more about this. I would love to know this. He looks like Carol Spinney was a weird looking. We're like, oh, you were kind of more normal when you had the bird head on. Spy Center say you can't show nipples while visiting a Renaissance festival. I learned that from Shaggy and the Creep Show. The creep had to cover it up. Well, I've been at a Renaissance festival. You ever see what people do to turkey legs there? You realize they are very, very progressive people, the Renaissancers. Michelle said, hello, all. Extra special good morning to my beau, Leo. There's a little relationship brewing in this chat, and it's adorable. Will said, teen goth, very spooky, very... Is Danhausen a goth? Is he a vampire? Is he a ghoul? Have we figured this shit out yet? Julio said, I'm quiet, but I'm here. And thank you for your attendance. Leo said, teen goths are fine as they don't cause a whole lot of trouble. Rachel said, Lolita goths are usually Japanese little girl style. There are also glitter goths. I like the pastel. I said good for that. I think that's the real rebellion. Jonathan said, current living celebrity you'd love to meet. Dick Cavett, who I've spoken to but I haven't met. Every answer is going to be Dick Cavett. Fran Lebowitz. I always thought, oh my God, it would be so great to meet Paul Simon. But then I'd be like, he's a guy's really, honestly, incredibly, incredibly boring. Who else is still alive that I would have a lot of questions for? This is good now. Now I have to think of this. So we have Fran Lebowitz. We have Dick Cavett. I guess we're keeping it somewhat New York. There's a lot of things I would like to ask. Perhaps a Chris Elliott, I think would be good, be interesting. I am maybe a little tease. I believe next week I will be speaking to someone who's been on my I've always wanted to meet that person list. Not going to tell you who until it's announced, but it's going to be fun and it's going to be a hoot. And tomorrow, naturally, there's some more Babyface in the morning, so do stay tuned. And then I'm filming something at night I can't talk about. Well, I can, but when they want to... Look, I'm going to have a good time. And some satin robes will be involved. Julio said, nice stubble, always on point. I don't know if it's on point. I had to shave it and then grow it back. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Leo said, never liked Harry Potter. Now the writer is an oddball transphobe. So, you know. Yeah, I know. I do, like, peripherally. Spot Center said, we're sharing horrible train stories on a live European train chat before this. Jesus. You know the one about seeing people pick up pieces of my son's drunken baseball coach who slept on the track? Fun stuff. Oh my God. And then how can you not play baseball with that thing? Did your son ever play baseball again? Because that would be like not going near this anymore. Elgato said duck soup is the best. Also, hello. Queen said premium audio experience like the new WWE pay-per-views. And Queen will also be talking for 4.5 hours straight. It's going to be great. Rice said, and why did Groucho go on Kemet? I think Dick was the only person to like call him. I think they were it was like back in the day when you could look up like Stan Laurel in the phone book and just call them. Like people were at the actor's home a lot. You could just do that. It wasn't a big deal. And I can't think Groucho was doing that much anymore, or that people had the patience for it. He did speak very, very slowly. Jonathan said, favorite YouTube guilty pleasure: pimple popping, girls at clubs, fighting, old vines, beehive removals. Jonathan, I'm currently obsessed with. And did we talk about it with Spenny? Maybe not. Oh, yeah, I think we did. Tom Labree's waterbed commercials. It was a guy in Sacramento. He was a waterbed salesman, had warehouses, did big business, just waterbeds. And he would buy a late night block of programming, and it was called Night Comfort. And he would air old movies that he would presumably, pay for. They were very cheap. And then he would do the commercials in between. So it was technically one long infomercial. And he would do the commercials in between. And sometimes he would be obviously plugging the waterbeds, answering viewer mail, or interviewing guests who were doing local theater in Sacramento, like George Papard. So how can you lose? Queen said, complex, unsanctioned, on Spotify Green Room and Church of Joshi next Sunday. So not today. She's saving her voice because there is a lot going on. She must rest. Hopefully get a lozenge, some warm water and honey, and you'll be nice humming vibration vocal warm up, and I think you'll be fine. Oh, Rye said because Chico needed the money. You set that one up so nicely for me, and then I just left it there. I'm so sorry, Rye. I've let you down. Charlie said, RJ, hello. Why is it called a wrestling ring if it's square? There's a thread, which I should either add to or retweet, a wrestling, Seinfeld material on wrestling that I wrote. And there's one about it being a squared circle, because it's obviously just square. It's just a square. I believe they used to have a circle in the middle or a circle around it. Steve Carino knows the answer, because he's told me before. So if you want to tweet him and ask him, he will be able to supply it to you. Julio said maybe dinosaurs in Jurassic Park universe doesn't have the same impact as dinosaurs for us. I call bullshit. I could see a brontosaurus, and I have multiple times, and each time I've gone, oh, I've been astonished. Sean said, give me 1 second. I will explain, I guess, about the rings. Elgato said, I just went down a rabbit hole of people listening to Rush's Spirit of Radio last night. Shrug. That's a choice you made. And are you better because of it? Something to think about for you. Nail said, the cult chat is insane. Guardswan said, good morning and love to you all. Nicoletta said Renaissanceans, which is certainly an option. Rob in New York said, it always blows my mind that Engelbert Humperdinck is not his real name. He chose to go by that. Eddie Izzard has a fantastic skit about how they came up with the name. However, I assure you, Dick Butkus is his name. I mean, he could have went with Richard Butkus, but then it's so Butkus heavy that everyone would want to talk about the Butkus part. He decided to blow up the front end too, so then you don't know what the fuck to think. You got a dick on one end, you got a Butkus on the other, and then you just think he's a hell of a guy. Elgato said, I thought he was a demon Conan O'Brien. Oh, he's talking about Danhausen. Yeah, I don't know how that makes any sense. Neil said, who else is still alive? Something I ask every morning. Annie said, Danhausen may be steampunk because he has an obsession with blimps. Andrea said, I think Lulu confirmed that Danhausen is a witch this week when they met Melissa Joan Hart at Dynamite. If you recall, in my interview with Kevin Nash, Wednesday Morning Wake Up, I asked if Melissa Joan Hart belongs in the NWO, and he said no. And she's certainly not in. Mia said, so has it been confirmed you are booked for Dallas? Mia, you're the only person asking about this. And unless you're booking me, I believe the answer is no. Leo said, if somebody bought you torrential underwear, would you destroy them? I wouldn't even be, no. I muted Shazza McKenzie because she tweeted out a picture of like, oh, look at this. I found this giant spider in my shower. I'm like, it was nice knowing you. You're lucky you're not blocked. Don't do that to people, please. John Frontagiano said, I once took an elevator with Paul Simon. He looked like a homeless man, a really short homeless man. But the music was good. You didn't say anything to him. You didn't say, hey, Paul, you had an elevator. He was at your mercy. You could have gotten at least one question in. You blew it. Nail said, Danhausen is a perfectly normal human, just like all of you. Stop the slander. I'm just asking questions. Raymond said, good morning from Cleveland, Oklahoma, just north of the gates of hell. Fixing to move out of this red ass place. Is that because it's so cold that it makes your cheeks red? Is it like a windburn thing? Rob said, Leo, the person who bought them at the Spot Center said, Gilbert Gottfried's late years Groucho is the best. It sounds exactly like him. Jonathan said, have you heard the impression? Yes, I have. And it's amazing. It is great. It's his best in terms of being as close to the source as possible. Neil said, my favorite YouTube guilty pleasure is TikTok Made Me Buy It. I'm not familiar. Pogirl said, do guilty pleasures make you guilty? Well, I proudly admitted that I watched Tom Labrie's Night Comfort. So Jonathan said, how great was it when WWE did Southpaw Wrestling? I will tell you, and it should not be a surprise to you, that the people who were involved in that production-wise were the same people who did my stuff there, and they saw similar things, and we went, yeah, that is good. Let's do more, head in that direction. So it was great. I mean, my stuff was better, but we're not comparing the two. Andrew just said Lance Catamaran for some reason. Susie has been a member for 3 months. Thank you for hanging in there. That's longer than I thought you would. I thought you would have just said this is enough already. Rye said I had a high school gym teacher named Dick Uren. Dick Uren. Oh, Dick Uren. I see. I didn't have him because I didn't take shop class. But the shop teacher in my high school, his name was Mr. Wood. I think that's even worse than you know what I mean. Like if his name was like Mr. Scrotum or Mr. Labia, it wouldn't be as bad as being a shop teacher and being named Mr. Wood. Rachel said you were totally booked for Dallas. We heard it. Yeah, Carrie Silkin booked me for Dallas, despite not really being a promoter anymore or having the logisticals, not running a show, not doing anything. Nail said, speaking of Kevin Nash, I found a British comedy called Living the Dream with Kevin Nash in it. He's a mean dude living in a trailer park. He grew out this beard and he's been playing a lot of rustic Jeff Bridges-ish characters. In some roles, he's better than Jeff Bridges. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor. Not to say speak ill of Jeff Bridges. I'm sure Jeff Bridges is a nice guy. Leo said, who are creepier, British kids in old movies or British wrestling journalists? I hate British children actors. I hate them, and I think they should never be on film, ever. Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, hate him. Hate him. Oliver, any version of Oliver, I want it stricken from the record. I cannot stand them. There's just something about them where I go, should not be on film. This should not be in. I would rather see if they made every British child actor, if they did it like Clifford, where it was Martin Short and they just shot him low. That would be much more palatable to me than these wretched British children. Nail said, Carrie absolutely booked you for Dallas. Mian is not alone in this. Okay, booked me for what? When? Because he was very hazy on the details. Jonathan said, do you have a P.O. box we can send stuff to? Yes, I can send it to you. Why should Danhausen get all the fancy presents? That's true. Although I will say SM, who's down in the chat there, sent me so many trading cards that I've been unboxing. People have sent me, I have a wonderful Golden Girl satin robe. People send that stuff to me, but more to Danhausen. So, but then I would have all this shit. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with it? He burns it all. He takes that in the backyard and he burns it. So think twice next time you want to send something to him. Sean said, so I met Carol Spinney one morning when I was a very small child. He was at the same breakfast place as us, and my grandmother recognized him and called him over, and I was very confused because he wasn't in the suit or anything. No shit. Did he do the voice? Kind of obliged for a fucking child. Although, that would be even more horrific. SM said, let's tweet Carrie to confirm the booking. Charlie said, how did you meet Mario Cantone? Met him on Twitter. I tweeted about something or somebody tagged me in something that he was in and he saw. And obviously my tweets are all references to people like Kay Ballard, where he's like, I know Kay Ballard. So we became fast friends and then tried to meet up a couple times when I was in and then he was somewhere else. And then we finally did and we got along swimmingly. Last time I saw him was November, end of October, maybe. And we had a wonderful time. He's a dear, dear friend. Sean said, and they explained that Carol Spinney was Big Bird and got me an autograph and let him continue on with his life. Yeah, it must be hard for him. How do you sign Carol Spinney or you just write Big Bird? Any motherfucker can write Big Bird in an autograph. Again, I got an autograph from the Pink Ranger, quote unquote, at the mall when I was a child. It was not her. It was some woman in a helmet. Sean said, but, there's a but. But the postscript is, even though I remembered what the autograph looked like, I never saw it again. I think those grandparents stole it. Well, you didn't hit it. She's like, who is this old man with the high burn voice? He doesn't admire the work of Carol Spinney. I'm taking this back. Guard said, I went to high school with someone who had the last name Hazapitis. Hazapitis, I'm pronouncing it in the humorous way. I also went to a school with a person named Genuine Ho. I did. And whatever. Genuine. Jen, you see how it can work as it, but didn't see it through. Speaking of, is that Carrie? Last stop, Penn Station. Hello, RJ. I am luxuriating in Fort Lauderdale. That sounds like Carrie to me, and I hail you as a great man. That's so sweet. Thank you, Carrie, and go listen to his podcast. Last stop at Penn Station. There's a lot that should be turned into a book. Neil said, I'm in. Shall we have a hashtag? Rob said, who would win a fight between Mr. Scrotum and Mr. Labia? Mr. Scrotum. Here's your winner, Mr. Scrotum. I think that has more consonants. I think it would just sound better as a winner. Rye said, our shop teacher was terrifying. His last name is Mr. Hand, and he was missing digits. Dear Lord. You know what? You got to crack a few eggs. Carrie said, I will make sure you are in Dallas. Deep in the heart. Leo said, I had a music teacher called Miss Bonus Smith, which sounded like Boner Smith. And she looked like Greg Valentine and sounded like Ricky Gervais. Her hair wasn't as nice. Greg Valentine has the nicest hair I've ever seen. It's like Farrah Fawcett is here. Greg Valentine is like here. Just incredible. Too pretty for the rest of his body. Leo said, I feel the same way about British wrestling journalists as you do about British kid actors. Well, that's why there's no movies with British wrestling journalists in them. That you ever see that old Oliver remake with a British wrestling journalist? Never got off the ground. Pogo said, what about the children on Young Dracula? I haven't seen that. However, I have it in my list of shit I need to watch. Old Dracula, starring Christopher Lee. And it's supposed to be a funny, he's like a 70s sex fiend. And it was called something else. And they changed it to Old Dracula because Young Frankenstein just came out and did well. And they're like, well, what if we called it? What if we made people think it was in a series of films? But it was not. It was not at all. Leo said, I feel Americans think British journalists are unique and kooky, but they are like every cringe wrestling fan over here. Nothing unique about them or any wrestling fans. Let's just call it a day. Neil said, I forgot why I had a beef with the Pink Ranger briefly. I knew I just did because she was going to do my crafting show years ago and then canceled at the last minute and then made it very difficult for me. Probably all the Toy Hunt stuff I'm watching. Don't know why I would forget it was because of RJ. Put her on the list too. Leo said, which wrestling figures have you collected? I don't know if collect is the correct word, but I have a lot. I have a whole, from my childhood. I was using them. I wouldn't say I was collecting them. I can't think of anything I have like the full set of where I'm like, oh yeah, or, oh, I just need one more of these. I was very interested for a time in collecting Jerry Lewis telethon memorabilia. I have a shirt and I have a race car. They made like a little Hot Wheels race car. I thought that was fun. Andrea said, I met the Ninja Turtles at Disney World and they had stamps in their sculpted hands and would high-five your autograph book. The stamps corresponded with their headband colors. That's creepy. Why do you need that? Just take a picture. Have we not, and this is a theory, have we not moved past the need to get an autograph because we're able to take pictures of people? Something about pretty much every single person will have a phone, and it is more significant to get a picture with the person. You post an autograph. Autographs can be forged. Sure, pictures can be photoshopped, I guess, but still. I think the autograph is completely died out. Don't quote me on this. But if anyone there is an autograph appraisal expert, do let me know. I'd be very interested to find out. Spot Center said, the garbage men pee in the woods by my house every week. Should I toss them 120-pound lab? What? I've missed it. Should I toss them 120-pound lab pit mix dog poo over where they whip it out? I don't think the urine is harmless. They gotta pee. They're not gonna. Well, they should pee in the back of the truck. It's just garbage, you know. Are they really harming anyone? Maybe do a nice thing. Turn it around. Turn it into a good deed. Put a little bucket out there and say, "Have at it, gents. Thanks for cleaning up the neighborhood." Something to think about. Nail said, Carrie and RJ, last stop Dallas hotel room. Interviews and chaos. Leo said, ooh, there will be a What Culture Wrestle Talk movie soon now that you have said it. Sorry. Last Stop Penn Station said, which is Carrie, by the way, I knew a guy who went under the name of Big Novak Jackoff. And I wonder if he was related to Kim Novak. Something to think about there. Nail said, Leo, do you need to talk about something that happened between you and the British YouTubers? There seemed to be some anger there. Mia said, I'd rather have pictures than autographs. Can't do anything with an autograph. However, one of the greatest autographs I own, my friend knew someone who worked for WWE Canada back in the day, and he was friends with Brett. He knew, I'll say the guy's name, Carl DeMarco. He was like, if you watch Wrestling with Shadows, he's in it. He's all over, WWE Canada stuff. And he got me Brett's autograph for my birthday, but it was right after this Montreal Screwjob. So Brett wrote to RJ, Brett, quote, the Hitman Heart. It's a beautiful autograph. And then he wrote WWF, crossed it out, and then wrote WCW. Completely unprompted, and I have it. I think I've posted it on Twitter before, but that's a good fashion, all-encompassing grudge to let it out, to vent a little on a child's autograph for his birthday. SM said, the stream is a little glitchy for me. Anyone else? Am I glitching, anyone? Neil said, I have a signed Samoa Joe figure, but I won that. Well, but it's also an action figure. It's not a piece of paper. You have more than, you're not going to take a picture with the action. It'd be weird. Pogo said, so glad I got this photo with Don the Dragon Wilson at his request many years ago. Who is that? Rachel said, pictures are definitely better than autographs if you can get them. Andrea said, I would definitely rather have a photo if someone is willing to take one. I should mention the Ninja Turtles meet and greet was 1996. I understand. Jeff said, I met Tony Todd, the Candy Man, and his sister was on the show. Her name is Monique. She was on McDreamer a long time ago, and Pepper Parks. He refused to take a picture with me because my boyfriend at the time was wearing a shirt that he felt mocked Michael Jackson. That was at a horror convention. And have you learned since going to other conventions not wearing statement shirts? It's a risk. You don't realize it, but it is a risk. You don't know who you, and then he's got to, then the Candyman's upset. You upset the Candyman, and I'll tell you something. If anyone can deny a picture request, the Candyman can. Where did we go? Robin wrote a message and then retracted it. So now I'm worried. What was it? And I say, do it again, Robin. Andrew said, I would definitely rather have a photo if someone was willing to take. Oh, I read that already. Pogo said, RJ, can't do anything with an autograph. Ever heard of forgery? I forged a few in my day. Signatures. Leo said, you should sell smoldering headshot black and white autographs. I have a bunch of old actor headshots because I started doing audition stuff. They were like, have your headshots. And I print, all right, I'll take them all. Give me 300 whatever the fuck it was. And then I was right at the beginning of them not needing a headshot because everything was online. They're just like, we have your pictures and that's fine. So then I have this horrible stack of them. Leo said, do you have a favorite old picture of you? Mine is the leaning forward, angry, and lime green trunks, or the one of you in the gym holding the weight plate. I hate all old and new photos of myself, and I have to deal with them on a regular basis. I had a really, really good photo where I had a hat that a woman who was an actress on Splat-A-Lot made me. She crocheted it and it fit my head perfectly. It was one of those slouchy hats, and I felt like a real hip guy. And I milked the shit out of that picture for a while. Rachel said, well, if you have a photo of the thing being autographed, that counts for authentication. And I pronounced that correctly. Nail said, RJ, do you not have piles vape by 10? Oh, yeah. I spoke before I read that, obviously. Yolanda is here. She said, good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Rachel said, the biggest rule at conventions is do not make eye contact with anyone you know. Anyone you don't know you want to talk to. Yes. Yes. Don't look at anyone is my advice ever. Andrea said, I made the RJ grayscale. What? Where did you go? I made the RJ grayscale t-shirt design in Animal Crossing. Andrea, please send me a picture. I would love to see it. Jeff has said he was incredibly nice to me at every convention I attended after without said boyfriend. He was telling you to break up with the guy. And yes, angry Tony Todd was terrifying. He got pissed. Spot Center said, the family heard your bucket idea and it sounds great. The release happens 40 inches from the front door. I have an old dry erase board for them to do snarky graffiti. They're going to have a time. They're going to bring all their friends. You're going to have garbage men peeing in your backyard nonstop. Poe Girl said, all of RJ's photos are awesome. That's a lie. Nail said, I think you should sell your old headshots signed with a sarcastic quote. I can sell them. I don't know if anyone would buy them. Minicoletta said, smoldering black and white headshot. My art gears are turning. I may be interested. SM said, SM has been a member for 22 months. Go to hell, okay, gamer. Using this to say I dislike my coworkers for replying all, using group chat for unprofessional reasons, and not wearing masks indoors. It's optional now. Yeah, that sucks. But I'm happy that you have used I'm happy that I could platform your venting, and I hope you feel better. Leo sent a request of me posing for smoldering headshots. All right. I have to relax my face. That's what. Maybe they say like you have to like rest your eyes a little and then tilt your head like that. Maybe something like that, or maybe one like this is also very good. Maybe I could even, if I could whistle like this, would be great. Or something just. I guess I don't need my hands if I don't want them. If I just got really close and just really like that kind of thing. I guess that's enough. I think we have a little album there. I think we'd like that. That was useless for the fucking people listening in spaces. But what are you gonna do? You have to go back and forth. It's a multimedia experience. Rob said, you're handsome as Fook, bro. I know you're your biggest critic, but you have no reasons to hate your pictures. Maybe they're my own personal reasons. Maybe I just don't like capturing images. I think it does something to the soul or something. What's it to you, Rob? Rob also, may I say, very handsome person. Jeff has said, Jake Busey made fun of me at the same convention for owning a copy of Starship Troopers that I brought for him to sign and threatened to charge me extra. Fair enough. Well, I have signed Monster Brawl DVDs for free, mind you. I should have charged. I'm really bad at charging people. I'm very I need people to like me, and I don't want to put the money in between us and just be like, just rather you say I'm a nice person. But that's not true. Lola said, if Tony Todd wants you to do something, you have to do it. And you broke up with your boyfriend because of Tony Todd. Let me, I got to put the lid on this first. Rachel said, yes, we would buy them. Nell said, I want a headshot signed. Ha! Go to hell, okay, gamer. Kind regards, RJ City. Let me press this. Hopefully there's a mild spill, but that's fine. We're going to, no spill. Look, it just bubbled. Look at me. Rob said, okay, the lip pull just woke something up in me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Elgato said, smoke is coming out of my work phone now. I should probably check that out. And you can write it off. SM said, oh shit, imagine someone tuning in just now to complete silence. Mia said, it's your hair that does it for me. I would buy them. Minicoletta said, Leo, thank you so much for this request. SM said, maybe we are perverts. Rachel said, I feel like I should have a camera and be saying, that's it. Work it, baby. The camera loves you. I guess my photographer is Tully Savalas in my head. Rob said, good thing no one in the chat makes gifts like a machine or anything. Aaron said, my RJ 8x10 is signed from my angel of music. Oh, that's so sweet. I have no recollection of that, but now I feel good. I love when someone brings up a past memory of me doing something nice. You know what I mean? Like past you was nice. Yeah, great. Lola said, little tip I learned when taking headshots, do your best Marlena Dietrich impression. How's that? Mail said, the gifts, dear Lord. SM said, I'm here for guys telling each other their hands. Look at this self-love. Speaking of guys telling each other that they're handsome, Carrie said, RJ, you are God's gift to the world. And also breakfast buffets, maybe. Both of them in tandem. Maybe he had an idea at the same time. Here's the breakfast buffets. They have the great idea, and I need someone who would like them. And I think it's this guy. Carrie, you are a delight, and I appreciate it so much. Leo said, I hate other people taking pictures of me. I always end up looking awful. Nothing like I thought I would. It's always the worst. They don't know you. They don't know what you want in the picture. And then they show it to you immediately. The worst is when you're at the gimmick table and they're like, can I take a picture with you? And it's like, sure. And they take it horrible. And then they show it to me and I look like shit. And then that's me now. So I feel like I currently look like shit. I don't need it. Spot Center said, I hate pictures of me in the 70s, specifically because the horizontal stripes that I was forced to wear. My mother had a long habit of dressing me and my brother. And my brother's 3 years younger than me. So when we were kids, he was much smaller in the same outfits. And she would buy him the same outfit, but smaller. And we looked like we were supposed to be twins. But maybe something happened to my brother. Leo said, do you prefer Telly Savalas or Telly from Sesame Street? Telly Savalas got to a point where he got very lazy and annoying. But Telly from Sesame Street is one of the most underrated Muppets ever. And they talk about Grover like he's a fringe Muppet, where he's so not. Guy's all over the place. There's nobody talking about Telly and Harry Monster. And I would like to bring more awareness to their fine work. Give them their flowers while they're still alive. Aaron said, you were very sweet when we met. Aaron, what show did we meet at? Do you recall? I would like to know. Neil said, there's 18 months between me and my sister, and my mom was the same. You can't do that to kids unless there's like a big, like 2-for-1 store. SM said, sing I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. Yeah, I love this song. I'm too sexy for my hat. I'm too sexy for my cat. I'm too sexy for this lat. And I'm too sexy for this mat. I'm too sexy for this bat. I'm too sexy for this gnat. I'm too sexy for this rat-a-tat-tat. I'm too sexy for my hat. And then I do my walk on the catwalk. But I'm too sexy for that cat, as I previously stated. So when I do my walk on the catwalk, no one is allowed to call it catwalk. They just call it walk. Ba, ba, ba. I'm too sexy for my hat. Da, da, da. I am not a fan of my hat. Da, da, da. I have a very ugly hat because I did not wash it when I should have. It's a Yankees hat, and I love ball, but I'm too sexy for the bat and the hat, so I didn't wash the bat, and I didn't wash the hat, and now I'm too sexy for my cat. That was I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred, and we loved it. We loved it. Jeffa has a 60-second scene request. Scene where Jake Busey asks you to sign a copy of Monster Brawl and you mock him for wearing a shirt that makes fun of Kevin Nash. Okay, this is the scene. Hi. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and but we had fun. I don't think that's right. And I don't want to sign this. No, Nash Hole. You think that's fun? He is well spoken. He is very smart. And he is a hell of a resume, okay? And he is a very personal friend of mine. But above all else, he's not a Nash Hole. Got it? So take your DVD and go get Art Hindle and Dave Foley to sign it. Because I don't want any part of this. Unless, do you have $15? And scene. See, I had the morals until the money is a commentary on society. Leo said, right said Fred are anti-vax nutballs now. Way to bring down the room, Leo. Aaron said it was the Destiny Show SummerSlam weekend. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, now I remember. And it was also incredibly, incredibly busy. It was and I hated it. It was too busy. Why would I want to go to Dallas, run into a bunch of people I don't like? Mia said, I'm loving this rendition. Robin said, I like the Richard Cheese version of I'm Too Sexy. Yeah, but what did you think of this one, Robin? That's the real question. We can all love Richard Cheese. American Girl said, I concur, RJ. You're one of my favorite people to have a conversation with. That's very sweet. Nell said, this is amazing. Lola needs this on Spotify. Leo said, remember HBK's I'm Too Sexy for This Crowd jacket. But then he performed in front of them. So it's maybe as a comment on insecurity. Rob said, I feel like we just got hit with the old razzle dazzle. Been having many dimensions today. Pogo just had a tip, basically, for previously singing I'm Too Sexy. You are too sexy. We're all too sexy. Sometimes you can be too sexy. You intimidate people. So I say, put on some corduroy, put on something, a sensible walking shoe, and it tampers it a little. SM said, is anyone still upset with the Bengals because they didn't win in Harambe's honor? I completely forgot about that. Splash Center said, anytime anyone talks that much about hats, I have to watch Lidsville. I'm the Great Hoodoo. That was my impression of Charles Nelson Riley as the Great Hoodoo, the heavy on Lidsville. Leo said, my favorite Kevin Nash moment is him eating ravioli. I think it was one of his favorite moments, too. Positively E said, I'm Too Sexy was blasting in McDonald's yesterday as I was ordering breakfast. Who is making also the choices for the on hold music for any place ever? They have some services, I think, where they pump in like some radio. Robin said, no, it was great. I said it was like the Richard Cheese version. Not that I like the Richard Cheese version. Robin, my apology. I misread. I skimmed your comment and I misrepresented you. And now I'm touched that you likened it to such a fine version. Unless you didn't like it. Unless you're comparing it because you didn't like it. Rob said, I still swung flaccid dick in his honor. I have no idea what that comment is in reference to. I just wanted to read it aloud. SM said, why is the super chat defaulting to $20? That's a great question. I do not know. Andrea said, last thing I did before the apocalypse was go to the last SmackDown with an audience. The NWO was there because of their Hall of Fame induction. Kevin Nash is even taller in real life and very handsome and knows a lot about Desi Arnaz, but I'm not going to get into it here. Spotsuner said, uncircumcised men probably do not like Richard Cheese. I would not know. That's grotesque. It's like a sausage roll with a turtleneck on it. Nail said, my favorite Kevin Nash moment is him telling RJ he loved him with the camera up his nostrils. Nash took that interview poolside because he is the best. He was the best then, and he continues to be. Rob is now crying, laughing. Positively, he said, dicks out for Harambe is an old meme. And what do you want from me? I'm in the gift business. Aaron said, my super chat defaults to $2.79, which is exactly what I need. I just like to buy small old packs of gum. Rachel said, the biggest guy I ever saw was Big Show. No shit. I kind of too loud in my pretty high voice said, whoa, I could blow him standing up. And he started looking around. I'm only 5'1", and he never saw you. Whoa, I could blow him standing up. That's a great it's just a great shirt. And I feel like would be something you would want to do more often. There are certain things you have to lie down for. There's certain things you have to bend over for. There's certain things you have to kneel for. I don't want to kneel. If you could even pray in a church standing up, they got away from the pews. They took all the pews out, all the kneelers, and they were like, guys, we talked to the Pope. You can completely pray standing up now. There would be so many more prayers. Positive E said, it's too early to talk about smegma, folks. Well, we're here now. Guardswan said, I wanted to shout out RJ for the best cameo ever for my 8-year dating anniversary with my fiancé. You knocked it out of the park. It is my most cherished message. How many messages are you getting is my question. You getting one from Richard Klein? Lola said, my favorite Kevin Nash moment is him no-selling being stabbed. What a power move. He's a guy who's impervious. He heals, I think, like a starfish. Guard Swan has a wonderful tribute saying, please tell Sylvia she's the queen of the universe. She's upstairs right now. She's not even here. So, sorry. Positively E said, but I will tell her. Christine said, Christine has been a member for 7 months and said, what is the traditional 7-month anniversary gift? I think it's just hope. Like, I'm hoping you're doing well. I was thinking of you. And then you just tell the person you're thinking of them. Aaron has a wonderful $2.79 for a little treat. And that treat will be a small pack of gum. Maybe some Wrigley's. How the fuck are they still in business? Their gum is all powdery and takes a wrapper upon wrapper. Is a giant foil wrapper. Shorten your gum. Shanae said, hey, RJ, I haven't been able to join in a few weeks because of work, but I'm happy to finally join in again with 9 minutes left. What the hell? Michelle said, I'm still proud of my Bengals. We got there. Sorry, RJ. I'll start my own football and underwear channel. I hope I'm forgiven. Yes, spin it off. Robin said, my most cherished cameo is from Artie Lang, with number 2 being Morgan McMichaels, but I don't have an RJ City cameo yet. A few people in this chat have gotten cameos, and yeah, I don't know if they liked them, but they certainly got them. I certainly put the work in. A decent length, depending on how much I have to do. The Artie Lang one, I mean, you know what you're getting into getting one of his. So it may be a little bit of an apples to stale oranges comparison there. Spilled coffee on myself. Nicolette said, whoa, don't knock Wrigley's. I can talk about gum. Shanae said, Wrigley gum tastes like chalk. Lost hope. Splash Center said, mine defaulted to $10. I corrected it to room 222. Great. Rachel said, go get your gum with a lovely I'm going to be swimming in gum. Leo said, do people call their partners their other half in North America? Only if they're boring people to talk to. Guard said, yes, Leo, I've heard that said. Mia Simmons said, I love my birthday cameo. Phil Collins, I have no idea what that has to do with anything. Spenny himself is here. He's in the chat. Do say hello to him. What's in the coffee? Coffee? It's cold brew. I have a little stevia. But the cold brew, it's a French press cold brew. I'm catching him up. It's a French press. So I had it last night. I made it. It should sit for 12 to 24 hours. I gave it more than 12, less than 24, but nevertheless, because of that brewing process, it's sweeter, fruitier, less acidic, and not hot. So it's certainly something to think about. If you wanted to dabble, I don't know what your caffeinated drink proclivities are. And your cousin's here and your producer's here. I'm taking your whole team. Kind of like how Mad TV stole from, I think, John Leguizamo's sketch show. SM said, my sister still hasn't forgiven you for telling her off in my cameo that she ordered. That's her own problem. I don't remember why I told her off, but I was certainly justified. Jeff said, I've heard of people collecting cameos for weddings, but I think I'm going to start collecting proactively for my funeral. What? Why am I muted? Why was I muted? My mic is back on. Okay, that's better. Sorry, what the hell was that? My apology. I was muted on Spaces. Rob said, Phil Collins does cameos? I don't think he really does. Michelle said, yes, Leo, you're my other half. Oh, my God, these people are falling in love. Rachel said, I have a Sami Zayn cameo, and I got a Darby Allin and Danhausen as a birthday gift. Well, great. They're not as good as mine. They probably don't have as many obscure cultural references. They're certainly not talking about Kay Ballard, but nevertheless, good luck with those. Spencer said alcoholic black. It does taste sometimes a little like whiskey-ish. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's got that taste where, like, if you're not thinking about what it tastes like, you won't enjoy it. If you just like swallow it, you're like, "Blah, blah." But if you're like, I love those things that only older adults pretend to like. They're difficult. Like certain cigars, being really nuanced about fucking cigars. Mia said, in my cameo, I had Phil Collins' song playing in the background and described the music video. Yeah, that was the request, that was to watch this music video. Andrea said, hi, Spenny. The Kenny versus Spenny episode where you guys did the jizz off is still one of the craziest things I've ever watched. I somehow missed that episode. Rachel said, you tell people off all the time, RJ. I feel like it's my duty. Neil said, I bet Sammy was expensive and not as good as me. Rob said, I'm laughing at the idea of Phil Collins and his $500 million net worth doing $20 cameos on the side. Michelle said, RJ, are you going to order those banana hammock-looking coffee things I sent you? I think you must. It looks too fun for you not to try in the program. I just don't want to be demonetized and kicked off because of, my general proclivity for this kind of thing. Rachel said, yeah, it was, but I think you know enough about me to know I had no problem paying for it. Christine said, this is Phil Collins. I heard about your bat mitzvah, and I wanted to tell you that you'll be in my heart. Is that what he sounds like? Does he ever? I know nothing about Phil Collins. Have you ever seen the music video where he wrestles the Ultimate Warrior? It's from not a live special. It's from a special of his music videos for some reason. There we go. That's better. I'm back in business now. It was a good sound. It was a little bloop. It was a little drop and then a healthy stream. Nails said, my cousin lives next to Phil Collins. Nails, what does your cousin do for a living that they have Phil Collins money without being Phil Collins? You know what I mean? Like, I know a guy who is in like the fencing business and he lives next to hockey legends, Toronto Maple Leafs legend Wendell Clark. And Wendell must have been like, oh my God, I could have just sold fences and been this rich? Oh, fuck. The hell is that? I had to play hockey. I had to slave away. My knees are destroyed. The hell did I do that for? Two Hearts. Yes, that's the name of the song where Phil Collins wrestles the Ultimate Warrior. Now said we have 4 minutes. Spot Center said FUBAR by Redcon has energy shots that claim to be the caffeine equivalent of 5 cups of coffee. My coffee addiction prevents me from trying my free gift from them, or at least I'm afraid to, because I still want to have my coffee. I want the performance of the coffee. I enjoy this as opposed to just like, whoa, need the caffeine, because there's also caffeine pills. But that's not what I'm here to go. That's what I'm here for. Nail said, I don't know. They're rich and have horses. Maybe they're just taking care of Phil Collins' horses and they're lying to you. Michelle said, fencing the sport or fencing for your commercial fencing for, I don't know, buildings and shit. I don't know how that works. So what else is coming up this week? More Babyface on Monday. And then I'll be filming a fun interview. Oh my God, song request, Angel of the Morning. Oh, I love that song by Josh Sanderling. Wonderful folk artist. Hey, it's early. Get out of bed. Shake the sleep from your head. You've been dreaming so long. You've been dreaming all night. But the sun is up and it's gonna be all right. I'm your angel of the morning and I've made some coffee for you. I'm your angel of the morning. Get in the shower. Here's some shampoo. I will see to it that your breakfast is done and it's gonna be good and it's gonna be fun. By the afternoon, I'll be hit by a car. But don't worry about that yet because it's not that far away. But I'm your angel of the morning and I have some things for you. I'm your angel of the morning. Until the afternoon, I will love you. That's Angel of the Morning. Lola said coffee isn't good for anxiety, but it's too damn tasty. Why am I out of focus? All of it. There we go. I agree. Nail said, I'm going to tell people my cousin look after Phil Collins' horses now. Nail said, tell us about the interview. Also, isn't Ask RJ coming out on Tuesday? Yes. For my Key to the City members, you have till the end of today to get your questions in. Damn it. Spenny said, I have seen the Brady Bunch variety show Rock and Roll Medley. I can't find it anywhere. I will look immediately after this and let you know my findings. Spencer said, Spenny said, you sing like Groucho. Lydia, dear Lydia, say, have you seen Lydia? That fucking song. Spot Center said, my buddy lives next to a guy that lets his dogs poop in the basement, and he loves to receive old newspapers as gifts, and I'm a gift giver. Jesus. Michelle said, goodbye, everyone. Love to you. Hugs, blah, blah. You got it. Angel at the morning, devil at night. Robin's applauding, and that's the important thing. Mia said, have a great weekend, everyone. Let's get a look at finally these. If you want more coffee from me, rootlesscoffee.com. There's a nice new bag. And until next time, Godspeed and God